Scott indicated, best laid plans are overhead or PowerPoint does not work. So we are going to try our best to communicate to you through our storytelling abilities, and I unfortunately don't play piano, to communicate to you what we hope to communicate to you, not only orally but certainly by PowerPoint. So bear with us. We're going to try our best to get the facts as we had prepared them out to you, and be glad to answer any questions. Before we begin, I'm going to give you just a little bit of a civics class, because believe it or not, sometimes, and it's no fault of anyone, we sometimes forget, especially being in Fairfield County, what our state legislature is all about. And I say that because before cable, and I'm a lifelong Norwalk resident, I probably knew more about Governor Rockefeller and Mayor Lindsay, I'm dating myself, because we are in the New York sphere, than I did about what went on in Hartford. Our state government consists of about 200 people. The governor and 5 other constitutional officers, the lieutenant governor, the secretary of the state, the comptroller, the treasurer, and the attorney general, as well as 187 legislators, divided by the Senate and the House. The Senate consists of 36 senators, each senator representing approximately 95 to 100,000 people. Currently in the Senate, the makeup by way of party is 22 Democrats to 14 Republicans. In the House of Representatives, we have 151 state representatives, each of us representing approximately 24,000 people. The makeup of the House of Representatives currently is 99 Democrats to 52 Republicans. The legislature is by constitution, a part-time legislature. What I mean by that is the session, the 2-year session, starts the first Wednesday after the first Monday in January following an election year, which is held in November of an even-numbered year. We go for 5 months to the first Wednesday after the first Monday in June. In the following year, the second year of the 2-year term, it's called the short session. In that session, we meet for 3 months, starting in the first Wednesday after the first Monday in February, and concluding, hopefully, the first Wednesday after the first Monday in May. There are special sessions that require us to come in outside those time periods. But it is a citizens' legislature. That's the way it was designed, meaning most of us up there have other jobs. I happen to be an attorney by profession. There's business people, teachers, lawyers, doctors, retirees, clerical personnel, people who work for nonprofits, all over. The concept being that we go into our communities, our neighborhoods, we hear what our constituents, what the people we represent say and do, we observe it, we live it, and we bring that experience to Hartford in an attempt to make the laws. That's your little civics lesson, if you don't mind. That being the case, every year, there are a myriad of issues, anything you could think of, regarding education, public safety, transportation, insurance, real estate law. I said education, public health, public safety issues. All of those issues, however, fall under an umbrella, and that's the budget of the state of Connecticut. Our budget right now, as we speak, for 1 year annually, is approximately $20 billion. That's with a B, billion dollars. In the state of Connecticut, we have various agencies, and we employ state workers. All told, we employ approximately 94,000 state workers, full-time, part-time, seasonal, per diem, etc. 94,000 that come to a full-time equivalent of approximately 55,000 employees. Those are state employees. And those legislators and constitutional officers I talked about are considered, though elected, state employees. Therefore, we are entitled to the same pension system, health care system, not compensation system, but etc. So, just an overview of what state government consists of as far as the people who are working for it. When you start off a new session, our Constitution calls for our governor to present an operating budget. How we as a state will operate the state for 2 years. It's a biennium budget. That year, that fiscal year that he is presenting, begins on July 1st. Our fiscal year in the state of Connecticut runs from July 1st to June 30th of each year. This is the second biennium budget that our governor, Governor Malloy, presented to the General Assembly in the state of Connecticut. First elected in November 2010, he took office in January 2011. Having been a mayor of the town of Stamford, neighboring town of Stamford, to be honest, Mayor Malloy, now Governor Malloy, had no part in the mess that he found himself in when he took office. And what a mess it was. We as a state were $3.2 or $6 billion in deficit. That means the budget we were operating under took in $3.6 billion less than we were paying out. And it got worse in the next year of that biennium budget. The governor, faced with that dilemma, presented his solution thereto. It consisted of 3 prongs. One was spending. He wanted to cut spending. The second was asking those state employees for some concessions. And thirdly, as he put it, as a last resort, was to raise revenue by way of taxes. Soon after the governor presented his budget in February of that year, he presented his budget, which did the following. We went from $19.3 billion of spending in the year he presented the budget to $19.8 billion in the first year to $20.3 billion in the second year. So instead of cutting spending, we actually spent more by $1.5 billion than we had in the preceding year. Secondly, the governor negotiated with the state employees union a concession package. In that concession package, it's a two-way street. He said, I'm going to ask you not to take any increases for the next 2 years. That would save the state money. I'm going to ask you to give up some concessions with regard to your health benefits, increased co-pays in some cases, increased contributions in other cases. I'm also going to ask you to contribute more prospectively to your retirement. In exchange for that, the unions were to give back things. For instance, they were, well, I mentioned what they were supposed to do for us, but we had to do for them. The deal we made is, for the next 4 years, we will lay no one off. For 4 years, you have job security. Number 2, those health and pension benefits, which, by the way, are rated by Consumer Reports as the best health care and pension benefits in the United States of America, will be extended from year 2017, when they were set to expire, to year 2022, extended for 5 years. Thirdly, we said to the employee union, the governor negotiated, that after the 2 years where you'll get no increase, in year 3, 4, and 5, we will give you pay increases that equate to 10%. The governor, in order to balance his budget, priced that savings out at $1.6 billion over 2 years. It turned out that the savings amounted to less than $800 million, less than half of what he had predicted. The third leg of the stool was the governor raising revenue. Literally every single tax in the state of Connecticut was increased. Our income tax, corporate tax, gift tax, sales tax, you name the tax, it went up to the point where it increased revenues, or was a tax increase of $1.8 billion per year, the largest tax increase in the history of the state of Connecticut. That was the governor's plan going forward. Within 5 months, the governor, who had said, had we adopted that tough medicine, and it was tough medicine, going forward, we would be on an equal keel and in surplus for the next 5 years, giving our state stability, allowing businesses to say, hey, I want to do work here, hiring people, growing the economy, and hopefully lifting us up to past days of grandeur. Thank you so much. Forgive my voice. Within 5 months, we found ourselves in deficit. First 20 million, then 50 million. Before long, we found ourselves at the end of the fiscal year, $150 million in deficit. In our Constitution, we have a balanced budget amendment, meaning that we had to balance the budget. What the governor did was he took money that was borrowed to prepay off an old debt and used it to fill the budget deficit. That got us through the first year.